Welcome to Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. Ben Horner, the voice of the Wildcats, here with you Cats fans, and for the first time in far too long, we've got a new Wildcats Weekly for you. We hope you had a happy holiday season, and welcome to 2015. It's sure to be an exciting calendar year here for the Wildcats. On this week's show, we'll chat with Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine about the last month of action. We'll also preview the two-game set against the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees coming up this weekend at the K. Yeager Coliseum. And, of course, we'll talk Children's Miracle Network and Jersey Off Our Back Night this Saturday. All that coming your way on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing, is back for the first time in too long. Thanks so much for bearing with us for that month. Wildcats head coach John LaFontaine to my left. Ben Horner with you here as we're very pleased to be back. John, feels like it's been way too long since we had a chance to sit down and talk Wildcats hockey. Since we last met, the Wildcats took a two-game trip up to Wenatchee, had a little bit of a Christmas break there, came back, had a bit of a bump in the road at the end of 2014, but also got 2015 off to a red-hot start. John, we'll speak generally at first here as we kind of recap what has been an event-filled month here for the Wildcats, eventful calendar month. It started off with two games against Wenatchee, had the boys heading home, feeling good about themselves, but they came back and had a little bit of an awakening against Topeka. Over the last month or so, what's been your general thoughts about where the Wildcats have been heading and how they have performed?
Well, we knew we had 8 straight road games before Christmas and including after Christmas. And we knew that was going to be our toughest challenge of the year, and we were prepared, and for the most part, we were off to a 4-0 start there. I guess the one game isn't quite a complete game yet against Rio with the ice there, and went into Christmas break playing some good hockey and feeling pretty good about ourselves. Topeka certainly handed us a couple of really tough games. Came away very impressed, probably the best team we've played all year. They have improved. They're deeper and they've got a lot of strength. They're hard to knock off the puck, and it's hard to get much opportunities around their net. So it's been good. We've gotten to play them again, obviously, this last weekend. But those are the games that make you better, that challenge you, that get you back into practice with a purpose and with the intention of having to improve, because we have to improve to be able to not only keep pace, but hopefully our goal is to practice at a better pace and improve better than them. So
those losses can almost prove as a litmus test, as a barometer for what needs to improve going forward for a team like the Wildcats, who are hoping to be championship challengers, not just in the conversation as contenders. A couple of losses against Topeka, not the worst thing in the world, because perhaps it gives you an opportunity to see what areas need improvement.
Yeah, they challenged us all over the ice. They didn't give us much time offensively, and we have to learn how to be more aware of where they're at and before we get the puck, and we've got to work harder defensively, especially getting up and gapping and plugging up the neutral zone. And each game that we played them, we actually got better and better at that, and we still generated our offense. Our offense doesn't seem to suffer too often. It's limiting the other team's opportunities, and Topeka is one that's going to be a good team to test you on, and that's an area we're focused on. We're focused to a player trying to get better, especially at playing at a faster pace and transitioning quicker, and then transitioning to defense better, and just more commitment on the defensive side of the puck. And so it's nice to have some practices. We didn't have much practice time in December, especially the last 2 weeks and in the first week of January, where we didn't get much opportunity. We had such a heavy schedule and travel schedule. So it's nice. It was nice to have practice today and just get into a routine in the next couple weeks here.
Yeah, nice homestand here for the Wildcats, a season-long 8 games. Home cooking has been very friendly to the Wildcats at the KYC. In fact, they had rattled off 11 straight wins in their building before a 3-2 loss on Saturday. We'll touch on that in a second. But you mentioned the defense there, John, and fans who have been tuning in throughout the last month or so will have heard you mentioning the defense in our coaching interviews that we run during the first intermission. Have you noticed an upward trend over the last few weeks, even with the increased goals against for the Wildcats over the last week or so? What has been your takeaway from the improvement of the defensive play since that little 3-game blip at the end of 2014?
Well, it started with Amarillo, Ben. You know, that was our opportunity to kind of rebound after the Topeka weekend, and you could just see our guys starting to transition quicker. Amarillo really skated and challenged us and basically had leads going into the second, all 4 games that we played them in a row. And but then we started to play our best hockey the second half of each game and shut them down defensively, and then got our offense going. And our guys start to really see that the better we play defensively, the more offense we produce. And so that's got to be our game. That's got to be part of our philosophy as a team, is to go out and really make life tough on the other team, and limit their time and space, frustrate them, and then use our speed in transition to capitalize on those tight defensive play. So we're working on it. It's nice to get some guys back in the lineup. It's been great to get Alex Falconer back and healthy again, and we just had Jeff Baum practice with us for the first time in a long time, and he looked really good for being off with a broken ankle. Pretty excited at where he's at right now.
Remember, Jeff Baum had played in just 4 games for the Wildcats before he suffered that injury against Corpus Christi at the end of October. And something that I've been saying for the last month or so is, with his addition back into the lineup, it's almost like a new acquisition or a new trade or a new signing for the Wildcats, as Baum, who had posted a few points before getting sidelined, it will be back in the lineup in the next few weeks. We'll look out for that. Baum's certainly a guy who can move that puck quickly out of the defensive zone, which is certainly going to be an asset for a Wildcat squad that at times has been struggling to clear it out on the first time of asking and has gotten hemmed back in their own zone a little bit. Is that something that you've noticed over the last few weeks as well?
Yeah, we have struggled a little bit in our defensive zone, and some of it has been our mid zone, but we felt like we shored that up and got better this last weekend in the mid zone defensively and picking up our man. And with Topeka, they're a good team, and they're going to hem you in. You're not going to go through a game against them where they're not going to have the puck in the offensive zone, and you have to just keep everything to the outside and do a good job of staying with your men and making sure they don't get anything at our net, anything extra at our net, and we're going to continue to improve. We got to get our penalty killing back to where it was. I think some of that is also playing some of the better teams. When you play Topeka 4 times like we have in the last few weeks, and I would put Wenatchee up there with one of the top teams. They definitely play at such a pace. It was a track meet. It was up and down hockey, and of course they just went into Lone Star and gave them their first loss in a long time and showed that they're a team to be reckoned with the second half.
Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. He's Coach LaFontaine. I'm Ben Horner with you. Thanks for joining us on what is our first show in quite some time. And, John, let's talk this past weekend against Topeka. It was a very strong showing on Friday night, a very valuable 7-4 win over the Roadrunners, and another second-period surge was the key to that one. What makes the second period such a successful frame for your team?
I don't know how to explain it, Ben, except that we've been coming into second periods down, and so it's as if the guys regroup in the locker room and turn it up a notch and play with a little more desperation and really want to go out and kind of redeem the first periods, and they've done a great job and have really exploded in the second periods as of late. And our goal is that we don't have to do that we come out and play better first periods. But boy, we've had some second periods that I don't, as a coach, don't ever remember having those. The one that comes to mind is when we're down 4-1 to Amarillo and score 6 goals before the end of the period, and there wasn't a full period left. So the guys, when they get on a roll offensively, it can be hard to stop. And we just have to remember that that comes from playing really strong defense.
That game you mentioned there was a bit of a record for the Wildcats. 6 goals for in one period, the most in team history in a single period, surpassing 5, which had happened a few times before that, most recently back in January of 2012 against the New Mexico Mustangs. There's a little throwback for the longer time fans. John, we mentioned Friday. Let's talk Saturday, and what by my estimation was one of the best games we've seen all season. Win or lose, that was entertaining, energetic, fast-paced hockey up and down the ice, and it was a really well-played game, which is about what you would expect from the two of the better teams in the league.
Yeah, they're a good team, very strong team. In the end, we outshot them by a few, and had chances, but they had chances. I mean, we had some chances that we thought we could have capitalized. They got very strong goaltending. We got strong goaltending. I know that Austin would like that last goal back. They scored late in the third to take the 3-2 lead. But our guys played well enough to win the hockey game, and yet you still take away some areas that we really have to get better at. And one of them was we didn't eliminate their time quick enough. We were backing up too quickly and giving them space, which is what they were doing to us the night before. It's funny because the guys got to see that on film, that when we moved the puck up quick in the mid zone from transition or on the breakout, we could catch a lot of space and get our speed going, and they did the exact same thing to us the next night.
Of course, you know heading into Saturday's contest that you're not going to post 5 on Matej Tomek very much. That's not something that's likely to happen again on back-to-back nights. Was that something that you emphasized to your team heading into Saturday's game? Like, hey, this is not going to be easy. We're going to have to work for every inch.
Yeah, we talked about it. We knew he would be back in net. They had pulled him for the third period on Friday night, and he's too good of a goalie to give up five goals again. And so we knew it was going to be a different game. It wasn't going to be a high-scoring game, and it was going to be one of those where you had to really tighten up defensively and have to win a low-scoring game. And we haven't had to do that very often, and that's an area that, you know, we've got to start learning how to eliminate the other team's chances and quality chances, because if we do, then we're going to be even stronger offensively. So it was a good contest for us. It was good for the guys to see the kind of pace that they play at, which is a higher pace than what you're used to. They play at a next step up, and we hope that that's how we play, at a faster pace, thinking the game quicker and processing the game quicker to play at that faster level. And we're going to have to even raise that to consistently be able to have some success against Topeka.
Yeah, from where I was watching high above the ice, John, that was a playoff-like atmosphere, both on the ice and in the stands. From the bench, is that something that you would agree with? That intensity, that pace is something that you don't often see in the regular season.
Yeah, it was. It was guys understanding that, you know, one mistake and it's in our end, it's in our net. So guys were playing very quick and smarter with the puck, and you know, it was a track meet, just like we played against Wenatchee. It was up and down hockey. Both teams playing very good and defending well and not giving each other a lot of chances, although the shots ended up being fairly high on net. It was good that we stayed out of the box because they capitalized quickly, and for the most part, we got 2 power play goals. That first one was just as the power play ended, and we still scored. But that's probably what the playoff hockey is going to be, just like that. Special teams are going to come into play big time.
Absolutely. One final note on Topeka before we look ahead to Rio Grande Valley. And, of course, Children's Miracle Network weekend. Jersey Off Our Back weekend returns this Friday and Saturday. More on that in a moment. John, let's draw a line under Topeka here. And we've talked about every situation providing value, either positive or negative situations. We've talked about how losing big can be a nice little shell shock to get a team right once more. Is there value in losing a game that you feel you may have deserved to win, almost to remind your Chargers that you can play well, but you're still not going to win every night?
I think so, Ben, because, you know, even as a coach, you come away with Saturday night coming away, you know, just feeling like we got to get better in areas so that we don't have that type of ending, so that we're in position with a lead, and they're the ones that are desperate and struggling and trying to come back. Even though it was a tie game until late, I mean, if we win that, you know, you come away, boy, we just swept them at home. We're on the right track. You just get hungrier as a player, and you get hungrier as a coach to want to improve.
Absolutely, and it also should not be discounted that the Cardiac Cats did earn themselves a couple of chances to tie that game up very late. This is a team that will not stop fighting. They don't know the meaning of deficit or the word quit certainly bears positive thoughts heading into the latter stages of this season. Of course, the Wildcats are over the 30 games played mark, so we have hit the halfway mark and beyond as they look to a 2-game set against the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees this Friday and Saturday night at the KYC. Rio, a team that has been strong at home, has struggled a little bit on the road, and we've seen them a few times before. And can we expect a lot of the same, a lot of rim it and run hockey, which is what Rio has done in the past?
Yeah, they play a different game than what we just played against Topeka and Wenatchee. They want to play and they want to get the puck out of their end, and they want to make quicker decisions, and they want to chip the puck to areas. And they've got some speedy forwards. They're very quick up front. And when they get going, can be tough to play against. They play physical. They want to get the puck behind you and finish hits on you and get turnovers that way. So we've got to be ready to play at the faster pace, and we've got to be ready to read the ice a little bit quicker. And hopefully we can get our transition game going against them, as well as getting to pucks before them.
With that dump and chase or that chip and chase mentality, however you want to refer to it, does that actually suit the Wildcats well in terms of matchups, especially coming at a time when they're looking to shore up the defensive zone play, get onto it quick? If you win the battle to the first puck, you have a very good chance of chipping it out and starting a transition rush.
Yeah, we've played well against Rio, but they've been really close games. There hasn't been any blowouts, 3-1 type of games consistently, and they're in it right to the end. There was one game where they had a late lead 2-1, and we had to come back, and they challenge you that way. They challenge you because of their speed, and then they're very disciplined and patient. They play strong in their own end, and they don't want the puck in their own end. So anytime they get to it, they're getting rid of it quick and getting it out quick, and so it makes it tough to establish a lot of zone play that we like to do down low. We call it low play. So we're going to have to make sure that we're forechecking and angling really well, and we're going to have to make sure that we're ready to play, because if we're not ready to play, they'll come in and steal one on us. So.
Certainly a good weekend to stress getting back to fundamentals against the Rio Grande Valley Killer Bees. Reminder, 7:05 on Friday, but mark your calendars for this one. Saturday is a 5:05 start time. We've moved that game up a couple hours to accommodate the jersey off our back auction immediately following the game. And that's a perfect segue, John, into our little conversation here. It is Children's Miracle Network weekend at the K. Yeager Coliseum. The Wildcats are very pleased to be partnering with CMN at United Regional once again. We've been doing this for over a decade. And John, this is, I know, your first year with it, but as someone who had their first experience with CMN weekend last year, I can certainly say that it's real easy to get stuck in and get involved. What's been your thoughts as the Wildcats ramp up their CMN efforts for another year here in 2015?
Well, I've just been really impressed with the hospital, with the CMN and staff and their nurses, and we got to have a tour, and I really think that was just some indelible impressions on our guys of boy, gosh, there's a purpose to this. We get to help out here, and let's help out for the right reasons, and look at where these donations are going, and it's going for what an unbelievable cause, and trying to help children and families in need when they have catastrophes or illnesses at such a young age is so devastating to families, and our guys got to see that, and their staff is just unbelievable. So it's kind of neat to see how our older guys and our younger guys are really into this and really want to help out, and you can just see it's such a professional organization to try to help, and the history of the Wildcats and how much money they have raised is pretty impressive, and we would like to be a team that helps keep that going in the right direction.
Over $500,000 since the Wildcats began the Jersey Off Our Back promotion for the 2002-2003 campaign, when the organization's predecessors were still around Wichita Falls as the Wichita Falls Rustlers. And you mentioned that hospital visit, John. The Wildcats raised over $30,000 last year. $30,556 was the exact number, and that seems like a really big number. It seems like a lot, especially to a lot of these players. But to see the looks on their face when they're informed that just one of the nursery beds that those infants are lying in costs almost $40,000 really helps to put it in perspective, as the Wildcats will be looking to improve upon that $30,500 mark this year with another big performance. And John, on a larger scale, it's just another one of the ways that the Wildcats are involved in the Texoma community and giving back to Wichita Falls. For you, how important is it to get your players involved in giving back to the community that supports them week in and week out?
Well, I've never been involved with a team and an organization that does as much as this team does. Previous junior teams, we were out in the community, but not with the same intensity and not with the same determination to help, to learning experiences. We call it helping build our guys' character, build community service into them, which is an unbelievable quality to have if you learn as a young age to want to be helping the area around you, your community, and getting involved in areas that need help. I think it's just a great life lessons to have. I wish I would have been able to do a little bit more of it when I was younger. I know it's helping build these men into appreciating how good they have it and wanting to help others. So, it's all about investing time into young men and women and trying to help them get on the right path in life here. And wow, some of the areas that they've been able to go see and visit and help and fundraising and community service time, and I think it's just been invaluable for our guys in helping build their character the right way.
Wildcats not just developing hockey players, but developing young men as well on and off the ice. That's the promise they make to the parents, and this just another one of the avenues that the Wildcats use to deliver and make good on that promise. John, thanks so much for joining us. We'll let John get out of here. When we come back, we'll give you a sneak peek of the Wildcats Children's Miracle Network commercial that'll be going to air this week on Wichita Falls televisions. That and more on the other side of the break as Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing, will continue after this.
Hey Wildcat fans, I'm Colin Staub, and this is Jake Townsend and Nick Farmer, here to tell you about Jersey Off Our Back weekend this Friday and Saturday.
We'll be wearing these custom jerseys when we play the Killer Bees this weekend at the K. Yeager Coliseum.
On Saturday, we'll be auctioning off the jerseys immediately after the game.
All proceeds go to support Children's Miracle Network at United Regional.
The puck drops at 7 p.m. on Friday and 5 p.m. on Saturday.
Call 716-5555 for tickets or call the number on your screen for more information.
We'll see you at the game.
All right, Wildcats fans, it's just about time for us to get out of here. Before we do, though, we want to remind you about a couple of things upcoming this weekend. Of course, it is Jersey Off Our Back weekend to benefit Children's Miracle Network for the Wildcats at the K. Yeager Coliseum this Friday and Saturday. Reminder to all fans, Saturday's game has been shifted from a 7 p.m. start to a 5 p.m. start to accommodate the jersey auction after the contest. So please mark your calendars, put it down in your phones. It is not the normal 7:05 start time. It is a 5:05 start time at the K. Yeager Coliseum. Doors will open at 4 p.m. And again, that's to accommodate the jersey auction after the game. One more thing that we're doing new this year. We know that in the past there have been some people who don't feel like they are going to be a part of the jersey auction and that they might not be as in tune with CMN festivities. Well, we're trying to alleviate that this year. New this year, you can buy a Children's Miracle Network jersey replica t-shirt for $10. These will be on sale Friday and Saturday night at the K. Yeager Coliseum. All proceeds, as always, will go to benefit Children's Miracle Network at United Regional. If you have any questions about this weekend's action or about the CMN efforts the Wildcats are undergoing this year, feel free to call us. 716-5587 is the number for more information. If you need tickets for this weekend's games, call the KYC box office at 716-5555 or look us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube at WF Wildcats. Until then, I am Ben Horner saying thanks so much for joining us here on Wildcats Weekly, presented by Armored Roofing. We're looking forward to a great weekend of hockey at the KYC, and we hope you'll be out there to join us. Until this Friday, I'm Ben Horner saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you around the rink.